We're back after DRX versus Afreeca game number 2. DRX found their victory.
탑에서 굉장히 챔피언들이 많이 커트 당하고
There were a lot of top champions getting banned out, and Afreeca picked up Aatrox. It was not an easy situation for DRX, but they went with sword versus sword matchup, Irelia. But at the same time, well, in game it did not really go well. However, they hold it until the Ziggs have a power spike, and they won the game with one shot. Well, I mean, in solo queue, Ziggs, a champion, is really hard to play against, and it's really hard to close out the game against Ziggs. That last pick, Ziggs, was really powerful, so we want to figure out whose idea it was. Well, Doran had a very hard time, and actually Afreeca won consecutive fights in the early phase. However, DRX got that fight that enabled them to have a huge turnaround. Here, well, actually they opened a fight in a narrow corridor, so this is very favoring landscape for DRX players. Even though they started with missing the Q skill, so Afreeca players were not really that afraid to go in. However, MF was able to do a lot of damage with his ult, and also Ziggs also did amazing damage in that narrow place. So with all the AoE damage combined, well, Afreeca players were so low, and also Pyosik was able to kick Jinx as well, also popping his flash. So Chovy in the backline was doing so much poke damage. And then, not long after that, there was another team fight that ended the game. So Afreeca actually tried to engage, but they could not find any meaningful target. And then DRX players re-engaged. So Keria did not let Jinx go away without his flash, so he ulted on a flashless Jinx, and then Chovy followed with his ult. That ult landed on the middle of Jinx, and it did 1100 damage. So that was really slight moment that Jinx was exposed without her flash. He was taking the left-hand path to get away, but Nautilus was so aggressive, flashing forward and landing his ultimate. There was no way for Mystic to get out of that zone of Ziggs' ultimate. And that's such a decisive moment. Keria was so calm, making his decision. So let's check out the player of the game, of game number 2. It was Chovy doing that massive amount damage on Ziggs. Damage per minute, damage percentage, damage to turrets is all impressive. So even Mina watching this game was interested in learning to play Ziggs. Even though Chovy also had a hard time during the laning phase and he wasn't able to find any meaningful points throughout the mid and early game, he was really good at holding on till he got enough power to fight back. And also, Nautilus and Ziggs can also be a bot lane comp, but mid lane Ziggs has way much more power in terms of damage, and Chovy managed to pull it off in the very end. When I first saw it, well, Wadid was not really sure about that choice. However, throughout the game, with Orange J4, it was not easy to fight against Ziggs in the mid and early game, and DRX players were able to protect him throughout the mid and early game. So let's check out who will be the winner with the final game number 3.
Thank you, Ji-sun, for that wonderful translation. Once again, good to see that Chovy did pick that one up. Did the most turret damage, so Good to see. He looks pretty calm, ready to go. Fly looks unfazed, as usual.
Not finding the success that he probably wanted there in the mid lane Ornn. That wasn't why they ended up losing the game. They ended up losing it, obviously, inside of that narrow corridor leading to left side river. Funneling into that, giving away the Baron, and then Mystic once again getting caught by Kyria on that Nautilus with the flash forward R. So, see what Afreeca does this time around. We'll see if Soraka ends up getting prioritized again inside of the ban phase.
Well, with the way that game 1 went, I wouldn't be surprised if they just did a very similar draft. And starting it off with the Soraka ban is what they did in game number 1. Will they mix it up based off of their experience in the last couple of games?
Well,
no.
No. Afreeca now, yeah, banning it away. DragonX probably going to stay super standard. Yeah, there's the Akali.
Are you ready for Elise or Necton? I think that answers your question. Or my question,
Not talking
rather.
to you. As Afreeca signifying that yet again they want a set pick. 2 anti-set champions being banned away. Aladios banned away by DragonX.
So DragonX banned Lucian in game 1 as their second ban, and Aphelios is third. So this could be a bit of a mix-up. It might just be mind games, and maybe they ban Lucian third, keep it the same, but it is the first difference here in the ban from the last time they were on these sides.
Ban MF and try to bait Afreeca into a Xayah, and then DragonX gets the Ezreal.
Sounds good to me.
That would
I'm always happy
that
to
would
watch
maybe
Steph
be
play
the
it.
play. So Afreeca goes B1 set. DragonX responds jungle top. Afreeca goes, okay, well, already ruined.
Okay. That does leave Lucian open. Yeah, you're done now, LS.
All right, hold on. B1 Lucian, okay, or B1 Ornn. All right, B1 Lucian.
You can only choose one.
Stop.
It's not a prediction if you list 3 different champions.
You need to. Now, if DragonX does want to try to get their hands on the Ezreal, they need to wait.
No, I'm just kidding. Keep going.
I have had about enough of you. Tonight? And I need to check if Atlas is still here.
No, he's gone. Long gone. I sent him home.
Okay.
MF, okay. Here
MF
it
is locked in. And
he
remember,
didn't say Elise.
the Lucian is a Triflex.
He said Ornn.
Okay.
I didn't want to spoil it. There it is. We did have the camera on Pioshik, but I don't think Jungle Ornn is going to come into the LCK just yet.
Yeah. Unlikely that would happen, and here it comes. They're going to go back to Karthus, so they need to keep accompanying this. Maybe Pantheon just actually comes. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And now this is a little bit awkward. Soraka is banned away. Does DragonX go for the Senna yet again? Now, if you want to choose a Sinner jungle... Oh, this is a Kindred spot. Oh.
Pioshik, that's what he named himself after.
And Chovy saying, you know what, in game number 1, I lane kingdomed this guy with Zoe. I'll do it again.
It was all in game 1, though. Same champion.
Same champion, but lane kingdom the champion, okay?
Yeah. You were talking about the guy Pantheon.
Braum now banned away. Will Afreeca ban Kindred? As the jungler isn't selected yet. Now, in terms of options that, remember, you normally have to put Karthus in the grave. You have to sin against him, regardless of if you're a power farmer or not. Nidalee, one of the best Karthus answers.
Yeah.
Kindred is perceived as a Karthus answer. The problem is that if Karthus grabs Kindred once in terms of being able to kill her inside of the jungle, or them, whatever, you know, if you want to go down that route,
sure,
then it becomes really hard. Because Kindred is extremely squishy.
Yeah.
And if Karthus ends up getting base leads, then things get problematic. Now another Sinner is in Zhao. He's able to do the 4-camp clear into meeting Karthus at his blue buff. And so perhaps DragonX... No, Kayn is not a Karthus counter. Kayn is not...
Hey, when they ult, you go into the...
Nope. Shadow Kayn is not... There it is.
Oh, come on.
Sometimes...
Come on. He was saying
I'm gonna walk... Are you... What is wrong?
I saw him saying it. It's like, Olaf today. He's like, yeah, it seems like it'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah, real good for the enemy team here.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, you want to talk about how to...
They want to have the beard synergy.
You want to talk about how to punt a draft? It might be right there.
Olaf and MF. No, I'm just kidding. Olaf and Ornn with the beard synergy. Nautilus coming in. Another beefy boy.
And all that Afreeca has to do is they just have to stay on theme here. I mean, you're looking for an 80 carry now. I mean, you can have... Well, no, Vayne is not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Caitlyn. Thinking Caitlyn in bot lane is probably fine. Ezreal is definitely on the safer end. Also has all the mobility and repositioning against the Ornn and the Zoe, as well as the Olaf, able to just kite for days. Now, if you're DragonX, do you go with the Senna here as a means to try to answer the Karthus, or do you do something super safe, like a Tom Kench, who... Oh,
look at that. Mr. Tarek coming in as final pick. And I think that's the second game they've saved support as counter pick, by the way, on red side for DragonX. There you have it. They say, okay, bottom lane, you know, we can just go even. It should be okay. And if a team fight happens, if Requiem comes out, perhaps
is
I can
it
counter.
Ornn? No, it has to be Ornn top lane because he beats Lucian. Or he's able to beat Lucian, I should say. 2 seconds.
Okay. The mind games.
And I like that. They just mixed up the graphics, so it said Keen and Chovy were on the same team, and Keen was a jungler.
Ooh, Keen in the jungle.
Really did like what I just saw right there. Let's take a look at the team composition. So for the purists here, Nautilus, Ezreal, Pantheon, Karthus, and Lucian. And again, very standard Karthus team composition. He is the entire core of this comp, surrounded by mass physical damage, highly mobile champions, prio champions, things that can let him just start his engine. He is truly Thanos in the jungle. As on the flip side, Ornn, Olaf, Zoe, MF, and Tarek. Tarek trying to come in as an answer to the Requiem of sorts. Zoe just for Chovy. But then there's some misalignment between the remaining champions inside of DragonX's comp.
Yeah, and because we do not have fan chants here while the coronavirus is rampant around the world, we have some extra time here in the beginning to just flow straight into game, talk whatever we want to talk about. Could definitely see this game. Ooh, Mystic. They want to make him skill up his E first. There it is. Picks it up. Makes the lane obviously a bit awkward. You don't get to use your Q.
Well.
Oh, they're going to deny the back.
And Piotrik's investing a lot of mana to do this, though, okay, yeah, Def, sure. Doesn't end up stopping that one. They're going to come over here with the sweeper and share the XP, so Chovy's going to get level 2 now off the first wave. Also has Dematerializer here. As Spirit, looking like he's going to start on the red buff. Or not going to go over and interrupt. So they're going to handshake this. Now, the thing is that Olaf, very much like Kindred, if he gets grabbed once by Karthus, it's over. It's really lights out for him. And the other thing is, he doesn't have the way to cheese Karthus the way that a Xin Zhao does. In terms of just going completely nuts and jumping on him over and over and over. Mobility boots, red smite, etc. And trying to just completely dismantle him inside of the jungle. And make him useless. And so, right now, Mystic and Jelly, they're going to come over. They're going to mess with Pyoshik.
Yeah, they saw him going down there with the ward. Now, Mystic doesn't have his Q. That's part of the reason why he was being zoned out so hard. And he gains a little bit of XP from the jungle camp, I suppose, but he's not going to be too happy regardless with the way that lane is going.
Spirit now. Gonna start moving into his blue side jungle as one small raptor was left up by Pyoshik. Karthus is already a little bit ahead of Pyoshik. And Cloud Dragon's first one of the game that's actually really big for Afreeca if they can manage to get it. Extremely long cooldown on the Requiem. Karthus doesn't build CDR. And then Fly, obviously the Grand Skyfall on the Pantheon, two really key ultimates to get CDR on.
Yeah, it would be big. It would only be one if it does come in here. So we've already had Infernal Soul. And was it double Infernal Soul actually today? I think it was. As LS is giving me the nod. And so definitely mixing up from what we've had here.
Okay.
It's mostly been
Pantheon
loud.
is... I honestly have no idea how this is even happening. Fly is getting eviscerated in mid lane right now by Chovy. Kyria ends up whiffing on the stun. As Keen looking for maybe even a solo kill.
Speaking about getting eviscerated, that's it's beginning to happen up in the top lane as well.
And so if Doran knows what he's doing inside of this matchup, you go Bramble Vest first item against the Lucian. And it really hurts him as he tries to curve into Bilgewater and Blade of the Ruin King. Keen maybe trying to just get a natural crash so that he can conserve his teleport. As Spirit doing something that I really don't like on Karthus. He purchased 2 control wards, and that slows you down so much on getting to the Runic Echo. And if your laners are just, again, if they're playing right, they're playing competent, you clear so fast and you're moving constantly, you act as a living ward. And then all that you have to do is use some deductive reasoning based on when your opponent last showed.
Oh, look at this. Pyoshik avoiding the Qs for quite a long time. Spirit going to be forced to flash. He's been good about checking his jungle, but this time around, Pyoshik kind of got the one-up on him by saying, okay, he's probably going to check here, but if I just dodge the Q, should be okay. He's able to do exactly that. So Karthus' flash is down, going to slow down Karthus a little bit. Pantheon will come into the jungle, help him out a bit.
Doran almost at Bramble Vest, so he is doing that. Remember, I believe it was Sword, right? Didn't go Bramble in matchups where he was supposed to, so nice to see something like this happening here. As soon as he gets that, Lucian starts losing the lane. So right now, I mean, Doran is doing completely fine up there. Obviously, mid lane is getting dismantled. Fly even built a null magic mantle against AD/true damage jungle AP mid. And this Pantheon just not really doing a whole lot.
I'd expect him to do exactly what he did in game 1, which was kind of be support Pantheon when he gets this far behind. I'd really love to see him actually just give some minions over to the Karthus. Especially the ones he can't really get, but I suppose that's not going to happen here.
Chovy doing a very good job at pressure. Currently up 23 CS. Looks like he is looking for a roam, and Kyoshik doing a really good job yet again. He did it on the Elise as well. Didn't over-panic trying to make ganks happen anywhere. You can't really risk that against Karthus in the jungle. And then as a byproduct to this mid lane problem, Karthus doesn't have the freedom to just venture across a river or anything of that nature, as Deft, love tapping Mystic a little bit.
We've seen MF enter dominance in a bunch of lanes, especially when it gets to one-on-one. We saw Deft do that in just the last game against the Jinx.
Yeah.
This time against Ezreal. But once the supports come in, it gets a bit better, but you can see that even so, just because of the way the level 1 went and the way that the lane went afterwards, MF has got a nice little lead here as, wow, that's a lot of damage that comes down. Chovy getting too close to the sun there.
And a little surprising that Fly didn't actually keep pushing on. Even though Zoe has heal, you have Requiem on Karthus, but maybe he doesn't have the mana to cast Requiem. XP point Fly is actually ahead of Chovy.
I think that's because of the wave is pushing into him right now. Chovy will be able to catch up. I suppose that Deft must have thought that Mystic's, it's kind of a hard thing to say for some reason. His Arcane Shift was down, but it was up, so everything got just avoided there. Kind of
And
sadly.
Spirit, he's just starting the Rift Herald right now. Doran missing the ultimate. Not even trying to do anything there.
Yeah, looks like he was just trying to clear the wave if possible.
And Keen had the option to freeze top lane, didn't elect to do it. Really surprising. You can see Spirit taking a lot of damage here. Is gonna have the smite available. Good kiting. It's one of Karthus's arch nemesis. Now he's gonna have the gonna have the enhanced recall now. Will he just do the okay, he's gonna do Gromp and Wolves and then recall. So nice pathing by him.
Yeah.
As Merc Tread's first item for the Pantheon here against Zoe in mid lane. It's not gonna have the most insane damage.
It's good to see the Karthus is ahead of the mid laner once again when it does come to CS. Happening game 1, it's happening again here. Nice little dodge, but the Ignite is going to come out from Doran. Again, he did pick up Unsealed Spellbook going up against a ranged champion, and you can do little things like that. Switch over to the Ignite just to put pressure on the top side. Kyoshi going to come up here, help out a bit with that as well. How about a nice little redemption from the mid lane? Always a nice little buff.
And Chovy ends up picking up a GLP 800. As Spirit making his way to top along with Jelly.
Ooh, sticking around. Checking the brush. He's not in that one.
And 3 minutes now until Mountain Dragon ends up coming up as, alright. Not really sure what they're doing here. But it does look like Jelly might just oh, Pantheon.
Has the C available. Looks like they really just wanted to bring in Shelly here and give 120 gold to both Keen and Spirit. A couple carries. Ooh, nice one there, but he's gonna take some aggro. The smite comes in. Keen, he doesn't have the mana. Can he actually get the kill? He's gonna go down to the Karthus, but Keen will also on the backside. But first blood to Karthus, always gonna be a nice little thing for your team.
A bit of some sloppy execution right there by Afreeca, though, all things considered. As DragonX now, they're in a really good spot. And because of Jelly's roam and just disappearing for as long as he did, Deft and Kyria getting really far ahead of Mystic down here on the Ezreal.
Yeah, really unfortunate side effect. I mean, you can get your Karthus ahead, but your lanes have to sustain somewhat. Mid is getting dunked right now, and bot is heading that way at the same time. Down over 30 CS right now in the bottom lane, and even more in the mid lane. So those are not impressive numbers right now for the CS for those two positions.
We can take a look at the replay here, and it's really important to kill the Ornn before Olaf gets the kill onto Lucian, because otherwise Ornn's Triumph ends up going. Oh well, actually no, he has Resolve Secondary, doesn't he?
Most likely.
I am actually blanking on his rune. I apologize for that. But if Ornn does have Triumph, it's really important.
Yeah, he casted it as soon as he possibly could.
Mountain Dragon up in 50 seconds. Obviously super big for DragonX's team composition. Any little bit of resistance against the all-in-ness of the Pantheon and the Lucian, coupled with the Karthus. Ezreal picked up a pretty late call, but he will eventually be able to complete that. As Doran making his way into Sunfire Cape.
Yeah, I like how Ezreal's just using that as kind of a catch-up mechanic in a way after being bullied so hard in this lane. Not much fun for him. Another redemption picked up here by Chovy.
And, okay, Fly continuing to just fall down here in mid. Keen trying to do his best up there in top lane. You can just see how obnoxiously tanky this Ornn is. Keen really wants to get this last turret plate. Not going to be able to with the way that Doran's playing.
Fly getting in there. They were trying to set up a gank, but Chovy was able to read it at the end. Ornn ultimate coming in, trying to deny this one. And even a redemption. As Culling comes out here, not quite on the mark there. And he will miss out on that last plate. As yet another dragon is going to go the way of DragonX here. Very fitting in that sense. Oh. We will have a Ocean as it's Spirit against Doran. Tilling Smite, and oh, the barrier. Last second. Looking for that Q, will pick it up at the end. Had Requiem as well, just coming off cooldown. Yeah. So
but, yeah, doesn't want to use it.
Yeah.
By any means. And still a 1,000 gold lead for DragonX, and Ocean Soul is coming up. So that could definitely be one of their absolute certain ways to win this game against the Karthus team composition. But likewise, Afreeca, they're not out of this game yet. There's 0 magic resistance on the side of DragonX, so Karthus will hurt. Now, I don't know what Spirit is thinking is different this game here, as does not look like he's building the Forbidden Book.
Hey, never say never.
Maybe it will be the Leandrix.
Remember that Chovy had this exact items, these exact items, minus the Runic Echoes, of course. And then he ended up building a Morellonomicon. Thought about the Void Staff. Someone reached out to us on Twitter and said while he was dead, he first built the Void Staff, and then reneged, went back on it, and then built the Forbidden Book, which is just even more of an insult. But I don't know. We'll see. Anything is possible here.
Rip Herald going to be picked up here by DragonX. As Pantheon, I think he's going Edge of Night. First item, and this is twice tonight that Chovy is threatening to Flame Horizon the opponent.
Well, this Requiem is going to be denied entirely, as the bullet time denied as well by the Pantheon. Lots of ultimates are just being totally denied here, as Deft will be also denied a recall in the mid lane here, so the push is coming down here. They don't have the best wave clear without the Zoe. Zoe comes back, helps clear that one out. Nice little maneuver, and you can see what the turret can do against the Redemption. I'm not sure exactly what the cast times are on both of those two. I think Requiem is 3 seconds.
Channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 seconds. Whereas the Tarek Ultimate, probably 3 seconds as well.
I will look that up for you. It's not like I'm a, you know, caster coach, content creator or anything, so.
You're not a human encyclopedia.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not Chris
Yeah.
Papa Smithy Smith.
Chris Papa Smithy, aka Human Encyclopedia.
Is that the AKA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thought it was PS Papa Smithy.
No.
No.
It's HE, aka.
After a 2.5 second delay.
Oh, okay. So you can actually, you have half a second to see the Requiem start to cast your Tarek Ultimate.
Yeah.
And deny it entirely.
Wow.
So if you get it on the whole team, which.
Yeah, it just completely denies the Karthus Requiem. Yeah, that's the way that it lines up.
Big push down mid lane right now. I love the angles that Chovy finds here on red side. Always uses this thick triangle that is to the left side of this mid tier 1 on blue.
I have a feeling that he is building Leandres as the first item. And I really wonder what has changed between game 1 and now.
Don't get too excited.
All right, I won't.
He hasn't built it yet. And I think you have KT to cast tomorrow, so you gotta be careful with that. I'm just waiting for him to go back. We'll see exactly what he does. Do that.
And Fly trying his best to farm up here in top lane. Just getting poked a little bit, not the end of the world.
Yeah, still a sad lane. As here we go, Karthus went back. Uh-oh.
No. No, Valdez.
He didn't build it yet. He's waiting on it.
All right. All right, I'll trust you.
Oblivion Orb, and he was out of the base for a long time, and he got an extra kill.
We can hope.
So, you know, would he not have, what is it, 450, 550 to complete that Morellonomicon?
We don't know. It's like the center of a Tootsie Pop. As DragonX, they are pushing the mid-tier 2 turret now. They're going to make their way over to the Ocean Dragon. You see the teleport coming in from Keen. This is going to be the climactic battle. We're going to have the Grand Skyfall come in. I don't know when. The Requiem timing is also going to be a bit of a game here. Spirit's going to have to time it against Kyria.
All right, let's see if they actually get in there.
Oh, Keen.
He's just straight up in the back. Requiem going to come out first. It looks like that Tarek ultimate was way late as they take the damage. Or an ultimate is going to knock up a couple, but they're all zoned away for now. And Ocean will go the way of Afreeca. Kind of funny the way that one wins. Kyria, he's got to be quicker on that button if he wants to make this Tarek work.
Now Afreeca, they're going to turn their attention into mid lane. And
ooh,
holy moly.
He's waiting for that E to go down, and down it will, but
but
Death gets nuked underneath the turret. You didn't really see that happen as Jelly just disappears. Welcome to Zoe. Chovy, I think he's got a better chance to 1v9 on Zoe this time around.
And Chovy is going to be a pretty core piece. Yet again, level 13 completed for Doran. As we take a look at this, Keen shows himself really early. Requiem came out, and the Tarek ult just way too late. Everyone losing HP. And Doran with, I don't even know what to really call that. The one-man sword, or that slipped out.
Yeah, he was using his sword, you know, to attack the enemy.
Yeah, I mean, everyone thinks that it's a hammer, but
yeah, no.
He does mix it up.
It's very sharp. See again here exactly what happens. As Keen kind of just blows him up. Not even really Jelly's engage that gets the
that
job
was
done.
a very surprising kill as... Well, that's one for the record books. That's
I think there were multiple crits in that one.
that's another photo.
Another photo to add to the
Yeah.
to the
wall-
book.
The wall of shame.
Yeah, another Morellonomicon built up here. Did you know that Tarek has a heal?
He does. He does. He does have a heal. Thank you for that.
And he has Summoner heal.
Ah, yes.
As does Toby.
Oh.
And Dorian can switch to Summoner heal. He has Unsealed Spellbook.
I, too, like to prevent 500 healing rather than deal 2,000 damage. Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you do?
As does Spirit. So I'm glad we're all on the same page here. Fly in a bit of trouble. Has to flash that one. But there were 4 members that were up in the top lane. And so Afreeca say, if you want to trade 2 lanes for 1, sure, let's go ahead. We'll be happy to handshake that one. But they're looking for more. They're not backing off here just yet. They're going for the inhibitor. Might just be able to
They're
get it.
going to get it, yeah. They're going to get the inhibitor turret. Keen down in bottom. Could we just have this devolve into a base race?
Afreeca have to
No.
back eventually if DragonX continued.
Keen not actually going to push on anymore, and so top inhibitor going down is actually probably good for Afreeca. We've talked about this many times before on the broadcast. The reason that top inhibitor is so good here is it's the inhibitor that is in closest proximity to the Baron, which is the major neutral objective. And so now DragonX, every minute that passes, 400 gold is just going to go into the void. And Afreeca, they're going to be able to utilize that top lane to funnel gold and XP into whatever champion they want to allocate it to, because DragonX does not have the ability to just magically dive mid-tier 2 or bot tier 2, nor can they, at this point in time, just randomly start up the Baron without Afreeca being able to respond.
Well, there's my boy Ocean Drake that might be hard for Afreeca to get to, but that is the only thing. And there's a thing that a lot of pro players have been doing where you're talking about the super minions pushing in. What they do instead is they just push out the wave anyway. They don't let the super minions kill any minions. As we're just going for Baron here. TP coming in, but Keen is zoned out, has to dash the wall. Once again, it looks like that ultimate is late as MF will pick up the dragon, but funneled here into the middle. Big bullet time though. Nothing able to stop that from doing huge damage, and Spirit was nowhere to be found in this fight, as now he is just going for it. He says, witness me, I would like to be noticed, as yes, he was noticed, but not in a good way. Unfortunate there, as now they might just look to push down the top lane. I don't know if they can end. It's still pretty early on in the game. We got
No, this is an end.
15 seconds on Pantheon.
I love the Supercaster curse. That is what just happened here. Not only did they just do the Baron, get it, and then the positioning of Afreeca, Mystic getting completely deleted, but also the entire build-up to it. We're going to see a replay of it
That's
most
it.
likely at the end of this.
GG.
What
DragonX.
DragonX, this is twice now they like stole the game.
Yeah.
In such a short time span.
They just like decided, okay, we're going to end the game now. We've had enough. Like, this series has gone on long enough. Okay, let's go.
And Chovy, yet again, lane kingdoming. And I saw comments in game number 1 that Chovy's game 1 performance wasn't super big. When the enemy Pantheon, who's supposed to be able to just run around and do things with permanent priority, is hugging his turret, constantly falling down CS, constantly falling down XP, etc. Zoe is basically directly influencing Karthus' possible routes as well. And in this game, did it yet again. Karthus gets suffocated due to the lack of control that is around mid, but just super stable yet again. Not a very chaotic game. All the deaths really coming in at the very end there. And even though Deft ended up dying,
Didn't mean to interrupt your point,
Yeah.
but Pyoshik, he shook me up a little bit, as he did to Chovy. He's really feeling it right now, passionate about his win. DragonX, with that win, they go up to 4-0, and because Genji hasn't played a fourth game, they are going to temporarily hold the top spot here in LCK Spring 2020. Afreeca, they outdrafted them in game 1, but when it came down to more even drafts, DragonX ended up having a better chance at some of these games.
Yeah. Even
And
though,
you know,
Furia, a little late on the Tara cult
Yeah,
in the final thing, but the draft had a really solid idea of how to answer the Karthus,
Yeah.
even though there were some misalignments. Those things never ended up coming to fruition. Deft and Kyria getting so far ahead of Mystic down there in the bot lane. Several plates, I think a 40 CS lead or something. A lot of that also does stem from Jelly's roam. And there was definitely some mechanical blunders on the side of Afreeca this game, especially in top lane. There was a lot of stuff just going on. A little weird there. Morello on Karthus again. That was really good. that was fantastic. Yeah.
Unfortunately, in this game, I don't think it would have changed much just because of the way that the fights were played out.
No, also, I really want to see the final Baron, because after the top inhibitor falls, that should never be a sequence of events that should be allowed to occur, where Afreeca is somehow so slow to respond to it, and then also approaches it in the manner that they did, to just, they funneled in like ants, basically.
Yeah. And the E was used prior to the bullet
DragonX
time.
knew that. That's why they made the trade for the top inhibitor.
Oh, there you go.
What's your launch latitude, Valdez? What is it? It's up here, not down there. Okay, thank you.
You know, I guess they just were able to see the future. That's what happened. Although, I don't know. In that case, well, okay, with the super minions pushing in and because the lane state where it was, it did actually end up allowing them to win the game.
Why you're in platinum.
But if there weren't super minions there, I think they probably would have just gotten the inhibitor and backed away.
Well,
so there you have it. Looking into the future and foreseeing Afreeca's lack of positioning.
Yeah.
Well done by DragonX.
Trading 1-for-1. And this was one of those sloppier trades. Spirit here, as Doran, he was playing Dance Dance Revolution here. Ended up casting the barrier, and had he just cast the barrier, absorbed the 1Q and ran away, he would have gotten the Requiem out of him at least. So, this is a bit hectic. This is where Afreeca managed to actually get the Ocean Dragon, and it bought them a lot of time. Deft here just getting blown away by Keen.
Chovy removes Spirit's health bar, then removes Fly's health bar, and then says, goodbye, Jelly. Let me take a third name in this fight. Just was not able to hand that constant barrage.
잠깐만 러시 볼만해?
여기
괜찮은 거 같은데 이거? 러시 볼래?
Sick.
맞아
Sick.
맞아
We can do it.
타리기가 유지 좋거든? 가자 쓸게 나 유지력 좋아 어때?
The response, you just see Pantheon still moving bottom. Karthus recalling Lucian so
안으로
slow.
들어갔다 안으로 들어갈게
His dash was on cooldown and he got zoned away by the trouble bubble. So Lucian got there late. Or an ultimate zones Fly.
And then watch Keen just gets exhausted. Watch Mystic. No damage.
He got stunned by Turret.
Fly did nothing.
카우스 보러
Oh
They
boy.
funneled in like ants.
Yeah.
카운트 왔고.
자 잡았고
And Spirit says, witness me. I am going along. Into that one, they say, let's go top, let's go top, let's go top, let's go top, over and over and over again.
제발
And then please. And that is what ends up ending the game there. A very quick one in contrast to what we had in the first couple of games. 8 kills for one team, 3 for the other, so very low kill game. 25 minutes done, and you can see that gold graph. Afreeca was sitting pretty. They're like, hey, our Karthus is scaling. Our Lucian one lane hard. Pantheon's not in a good spot, but maybe we can slowly scale up and we'll be okay. And then one Baron fight, one lack of response, and that was it. That was the end of the game. Just like that, and the gold graph went like, boom.
It was such a thin line that it was still just so bizarre how no one knew to respond or even look for it. Chovy gets the MVP. There are so many people angry right now. I'll tell you what. I don't
Zoe's a
even know.
good champion. It's made by your favorite champion designer, by the way, Certainly T.
Certainly T is my favorite champion designer. I think that he's made some of the best champions in League.
Yeah.
Not even trolling.
No,
I think Zoe is such a great champion.
He's lacking sarcasm with what he's saying right now.
And this was it. This is the funneling in like ants. And you know, the reason that I like champions that he makes is there's so much skill expression in some ways, and there's so much imbalance. And I love imbalance versus imbalance. I think that makes things very exciting.
Rather than balance versus balance. Orianna versus Azir. All right. I think I got my response right there. By the way, 11 out of 12 votes go towards Chovy on that player of the game, so pog to that. I'm gonna hand it over to Ji-sun for a translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Season with the Universal Translation, and we'll be hearing from the solo MVP from DRX, turning the game around. Well, it's a bit sad that it's not a 2-0 victory, but anyways, you got 2-1 victory. Well, I'm a little bit unsatisfied about the 2-2-1, but Doran got to play a lot of games, so that's a profit. So we all want to ask you about, was Doran alive after that game number 2? How was the review going? So I went to the bathroom, but CBMX was like, I thought CBMX used Mordekaiser ult to Doran. You know, he took him to this room. So I was a bit scared, so I went to the bathroom. I guess that feedback worked. So let's talk about game number 2. Your Ziggs was the key point in game number 2. Was that your idea? I asked the bot laners, well, if Keria can just go with Nautilus, we can pick new mid laner and make a new composition. So there weren't many choices left, but I thought Ziggs was having quite a good situation over there. Was that an opinion from the coaching staff, or were they okay with it? Before I asked their permission, I already did so many experiments on this champion, so I actually didn't ask for their permission. I just told them I'm just gonna go with Ziggs. And actually, that was the champion that closed out the game. The game was really hard. However, you guys managed to turn it around with the massive damage coming out of you. The carrier was really aggressive at that point. So actually, there was no way for me to use my ult, but well, Keria found the Ziggs with his ult, so I just used it over her. I just like, well, I have to just use my ult, and then suddenly just Jinx died. That was 1100 damage coming out of your ultimate. So a lot of people are now thinking to play Ziggs from now on. But Korean casters doesn't think it's a really nice champion to play in solo queue, so do you recommend it? Well, you have to look at the opponent's comp, and you also need the teammates to hold on till Ziggs has its power spike. That means no, right? Nope. Don't play it. Moving on to game number 3, you are playing Zoe. Was there any special feedbacks for game number 3? Well, they went with Pantheon Karthus comp again. So we wanted to play around. We knew that they wanted to play around top and bot. So we went with very sustained picks for top and bot lane, and we really wanted to get a really strong team fight composition. Yes, I mean DRX really prefers having a lot of team fights. So in game number 3, that one Baron actually closed the game out. Well, I guess the highlight is not ready yet. So how were you able to decide to go for Baron and close out the game? We saw Karsus going back to base, so we all agreed to try the Baron. So I just followed my teammates, and then the game was like over. Game 2 and 3 all just ended out of nowhere, right? Well, I just trusted my teammates, and the Nexus was gone. Actually when Pyosik hugged me, he just said, "Oh, thank you so much," because I got carried last time, so I just wanted to carry this time. Jovi, you are always improving so much. So any message for your fans? I mean, we are on the first place, but it's only the beginning of the split. So we shouldn't let our guards down, or we're just gonna fall down. So we will do our best and keep up the hard work. So this will be the end of the interview with the solo MVP Chovy, and I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you, Ji-sun, as always, for the wonderful translation there. Cute to see Chovy up there talking to Mina, just one-on-one on the stage alone, nobody else here in the studio, having some nice talking time. As Chovy certainly carried the day here for DragonX, showed up big time, did not tilt, did the right thing at the right time. So Afreeca, you see they take their first loss, whereas Gen G will have an opportunity to secure first place. Once again, that will be tomorrow. SKT versus Gen G. You guys do not want to miss that. That's the second matchup. But we're not done here for today. We do have a second matchup, even though this first one was a bit lengthy.
We had a mid lane experience today. It was supposed to be bot lane. That one didn't really live up to the hype. So
really.
You know what? We had Chovy show up today, not Choki. Later we have Summit.
Summit up against the top laner of Hanwha Life. Kive. That's who it is. A lot of roster swaps nowadays. For some reason, I just kept thinking so on, although I knew that wasn't correct. Either way, guys, that will be the matchup after the break. We'll see you then.